So Buck and I had a few days where we could get out in the bush and go and do some scouting, and I think scouting is super important because, like I tell a lot of people getting into hunting, is that convenience is key, especially when you're going out in the bush, right? For instance, I keep my sleeping very basic. It's just a swag with a nice plush mattress in it, and maybe, if I'm counting tough weather, a gazebo. You know, everything else is pretty simple. For instance, as well, like I sleep in my hunting clothes purely because I hate getting out of bed. I want convenience. I want to be able to just wake up, walk out, and not have to take my clothes off in the cold or rummage through my bag. I want to just get on and start the day and just go shooting. And so I think the same principle applies to scouting. And I know that sounds counterintuitive because, you know, scouting is boring and it's work and you got to actually do it up front, and it doesn't feel like it's cutting any time out of the hunting process, but I can guarantee you that it is. I mean, if you already know where you're hunting and you know where the game animals are and you know where the productive areas are, you arrive straight at the forest, go to sleep, you get up and you start hunting. Or you go to the forest and you start hunting, then I don't know what time you arrive, right? I had a client that wanted to, he's a bow hunter, didn't have much luck and he was trying too hard for deer, so I said, look, let's go to a forest close by, somewhere you can go back to. I'll try and get you in front of some pigs, and there's plenty of them around, and I'll teach you how to glass, etc, etc. And so we just went to our local. Buck and I are just here hunting a regular local state forest. We've been hunting it for years, and it took over a year to make this place productive. A lot of people will say this place is shot out or it's too close to Sydney, but I mean, look, there's still game around. They might be more clever. They might be, I guess, selectively bred. Next day, pushed a bit further south, and it was just a waste of time, you know. Like, I think it was a great position for glassing. It was very beautiful, right? But I knew inherently the deer didn't want to be there. Buck and I are here just hoping to glass up some deer. We've never been here before, always wanted to come here. Old Sleepyhead is having a relaxation, and I'm going to take it pretty leisurely and just see what comes out. So probably about 3 hours until dark, so time to be quiet. So in 3 hours of glassing until last light, not one animal showed up on the faces I was looking at. I was a little bit hopeful, but I also was doubtful. So I've said this before, it doesn't entirely matter that you don't see an animal where you're looking, because at least you know where they don't want to be. And that puts you one step closer to finding where the animals want to be. So I'll give you a look at the kind of country I was glassing. So not too thick, good environment. But having sat here for a little while, there's not a whole lot for them to want to be up there. And the sun was still getting some good coverage even though these slopes face south. And it's just simply too hot for them. It is a remarkably beautiful place though. So yeah, beautiful place. Probably pretty poor hunting, at least this time of the year, but hey, it's hunting, so just going to bounce around for the next day or so and try and figure out where the animals want to be, and then figure out how I can effectively hunt them. I've only got the old 2506 for the minute. Didn't bring the big gun, only because it's more of a scouting mission. Just trying to pick out some spots for some clients and just make sure there's some animals here for them running around when I bring them in. But look, I'll have a swim in the lake later and maybe go for a fish tomorrow. That's never a total waste. And see tomorrow arvo. Maybe I can track down where the sandbar and the fallow are moving and get a good grasp on what can be done in this place. Apart from that, like it's a pretty good looking forest, but fires have hit this place pretty hard. I've heard it's not what it used to be, but there's still a lot of deer being pulled out of this place. I've never personally harvested here. This is my first foray, but they're definitely around. It's just a matter of time before you find them. Persistence is key, and patience is the hunter's virtue. So, I mean, for everyone that's in this position, I've been in 1,000 times, and you're probably going to be in 1,000 times too, and it's all part of the process and part of sort of garnering and perfecting your patience, really. Because these animals, they're not in a rush to get killed. They're not in a rush to get eaten, and they probably know exactly how delicious they are. Look, I had a few hours. I enjoyed the beauty of it. I enjoyed the beauty of nature, and I now know for sure they don't want to be there. So, I mean, at least there's kind of a tick there, at least. You know, everything's a little win. The third day... God, it's stunning. Plenty of good fish in that dam too. So it's not hard to figure out where I am, but this is one of the, or so I've been told, one of the largest working forests in the Southern Hemisphere. So it's a big place, and there's a lot of room for the animals to move around, and I'll be honest with you, I'm struggling to find them. I definitely know they're not on this side. I think it's too hot, too dry, there's not enough for them, and the places on this side that they want to be are all exclusion zone. God knows why, but I think it would just make the hunting too easy. So, half the fun is just getting up, going exploring and trying to figure out where the animals are. So like I said, I've never really hunted here. Been through a couple of times camping on the way back for work and whatnot, but never really gave it a good old suss out. And the place is massive. Like, it is huge. I know there are animals here. I know there's more likely more on the other side, but the other side is just not as beautiful. It's just a regular old forest. So I really, I'm not doing the right thing. I want to make this beautiful side productive, but I might have to give up on that eventually. So yeah, there's a few snakes around, so Buck and I are going to have to be pretty tight. I'm probably going to keep them on the leash. It's time of year. I mean, really, shouldn't be out hunting with a dog off leash. Shouldn't have your dogs off leash at any time. We saw a big old brown snake last night, and yeah, so it makes me nervous, but just gotta have to keep an eye on the best mate then. All right, so yeah, we're gonna go for it. That I was scouting out for a client. He's a deer hunter from Ireland, and he wanted to shoot some Aussie fallow deer, which I guess is reminiscent of his home country, which I thought was quite lovely, and I wanted to help him. We're down at this creek. On this crossing we found some deer fur. Just a random piece of barbed wire some arsehole has strung. Probably some wanker doesn't want you in their spot. Buck and I just found so much sign, and I thought, this is great. You know, I'm going to get this fella, pick him up, we're going to go down to this patch, and then that's it. Our hunting's going to start on day one, right? Day one, there's no exploring, know where the deer are. You know, and then that in itself is like an inherent convenience, right? Is actually knowing where you're going. Okay, this is more like it. This is what we're after. Not ideal country for me. I'm not the best stalker. I love my center weight and my glassing, but there's loads of deer around. So I have a client. He's an experienced deer stalker from Ireland. I think he'll be very interested in this patch of land. So I think this is great for him, and he might even be able to teach me a thing or two. So Buck and I are going to press on and see what else we can find. Hey, okay. This is more like it. Summer hunting. Right, you're not wasting time. You're not screwing around. You're not bumping animals. Now, you know, you bump animals when you're scouting, right? It's very difficult to be hunting and scouting at the same time, right? Because you know you just simply can't see a lot of land when you're walking really slowly and stalky, right? You can be really observant for sure, right? For sure. And if you find yourself in the right spot immediately, okay, commence your stalk. But if you're not, right, you got to move fast. You got to find sign. You got to hit pockets. You got to kind of understand the behavior of the animal and the kind of environment that you're in, right? And then your scouting is done, and you can commence your hunting. For sit and wait. If you can see this, I'm going to say mostly deer, some pig, and there's also a lot of horse. So it's not bad. It really isn't bad. It's a good sit and wait. I don't know if there's a load of hunting options in this forest, but we're going to find whichever ones there are, because that's the whole point of exploration. Apart from that, it's not ugly. For those of us that are kind of coming up, allocate some time for scouting. Obviously also bring a rifle, but don't be too concerned with alarming the animal, you know, or spooking any animals out there. Be more concerned with actually identifying if there are animals in the area you're going. And then that way you don't have to do that step when you start hunting, either the next day or the next week or the next year in that same season. You already have the knowledge, the convenience that you would have otherwise. See, we've got a bit of a wallow, and you can see, I guess, the pattern of their fur. This hasn't been used too often, but we have a little bit. Oh, focus. A little bit of fur here. Come on, focus. There we go. It really is a perfect spot for summertime hunting. Definitely attracts some attention, and it's not a bad place to keep an eye on. But I'm going to push on. Right, there's one more place that I want to check out while bucking on here. And so went to this spot, found loads of deer, had a couple of pigs walk in front of me. I wasn't after pigs, but I was thinking earlier that day, like, yeah, I could have used some of that pork that I left for the other client in the Central West. And I just sat there and watched them, and one caught onto me, put its head up and ran away, and the other just froze. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So we took one of those pigs. I was craving some pork, actually. I'm quite happy we ran into pigs, even more so than deer. But there are a few deer around here, which is awesome, and it's good hunting. So I think this is a crack spot. We're gonna go find some blood trail, and then see if we can pull up this pork up, get some meat. Okay, here's our first trail of blood. Just have to follow it. Okay, here's a bit more. Okay, getting a bit more serious now. Yeah, definitely more serious. It shouldn't be far. Yep, this is what you want. This is typical of a lung shot. The more blood enters the lung, the more they spit out. The easier it is to find them as you go. Alrighty. Oh, it's almost the same thing again. Gee, this bloke is tough. He's soaked up a 2506 and bloody still going. It was a close range shot, and the 2506 is a pretty fast caliber. Now they are soft points, but I don't think it had the chance to open up and really expand. I think I didn't know I was coming here, so I would have loaded obviously a different round, something that's slower, softer, you know. Oh, no way, here it is. All right, enough talk. It worked. Let's get to it. Yes, get out of here. Okay, so sow, yeah, pretty much perfect. Low lung, I guess. Shouldn't go very far. Let's see. Let's check the inside legs for ticks. Oh, there's only a couple. So that's all right. I think I might take it. Alrighty. Poking off, okay. The road's not too far from here, so I think I'll bring the car around and then try and harvest whatever I can from the old girl. So there you have it. Came for deer, came to suss out a place for a client. Plenty of deer around here, and pigs, so he's going to be over the moon with that. Awesome, can't wait to bring him here. Right here, I better get busy. So I'm going to drag her into a nice shady spot before I head off, grab the game bags and whatnot and come back. So yeah, hopefully the flies don't do too much damage. I don't think they will. I'll be gone like 20 minutes, so it should be sweet. Alright. Nice and shady, shouldn't get too much direct sun and we'll be off. This swallow's not really active at all, but I really think it will be. Just a matter of time. I reckon I'll be coming back here for my personal hunting. Bunny. Oh, I don't know if the camera got it. Gee, I'm starting to think that I've stumbled on something pretty special here. It's not active yet, but I reckon it will be in a couple of weeks. I'm kind of regretting shooting that pig, to be honest. I think there'd be some really good bucks in velvet running around. I've seen no rubs. It's the 7th of Feb. 0 rub. Plenty of deer sign. Is some buck sign as well. The clumpy stuff. I don't know, some people say that that's not, you know, a perfect way to tell, but there's plenty of deers. Some of them have to be bucks. 0 rubs. 0 rubs at all. Look at this. Some lucky deer is going to get stuck into that pretty soon. So, pork's a good consolation. What can I do? You're a good dog. Okay, a lot of these are hooves. Mixture. Let's say that's pig there. Oh, that's a fucking solid deer. Plenty of deer. Oh, could be either. Could be either, but that's a fucking solid deer. Wow. You can see where they feel safe, like travelling in depressions and sort of low points between gullies. And there's a lot of activity here. There's a lot of deer getting around. Jeez. Looks like it's almost a wallow. Something might be wallowing here, but I can't see any fur in it. Usually if you come across a wallow and it's active, you'll find fur and you'll see the pattern of their fur in the mud. Oh, no, I don't think so. It could be, but I don't think so. Alright, back to it. Sorry mate, no, it's gross. This was just dropped and it's on my way bloody back to the pig. This place is hot as. I think it may well form part of my bloody personal hunting. I almost don't want to give it away, but a promise is a promise and that's good business. So, mate, I'm over the moon with this place and I really hope my client gets that deer stalking experience that he's after. I think I've just got to push through. It's getting quite warm and mate, I keep getting distracted by all these deer and I'm worried the flies have made a mess of my pig, so it fucking sucks, but I'm just gonna have to pray that I bump something. Rightio, let's go. So I was hesitant to show this, but this is just the reality of hunting in summer. There's just bloody flies everywhere. And if you can see, it's disgusting and it always turns me off, is the flies have already laid eggs for their maggots over my creature. I think I'm just gonna take the hind quarters, the back strap, whatever's not destroyed at the front, hang it in that tree behind me, skin it, and yeah, get all the maggot eggs off and hopefully I can save some of this meat. Look, maggots are fine. People eat maggots. There are some cultures where people actually eat maggots, right? Which is fucking gross, but you know, each to their own. She looks healthy. She looks good. I'll open her up. I'll look at her liver, but yeah, I think I'm going to take it at least where the major meat is. Let's do it.
This one came off a lot easier because I wasn't trying to bloody skin it on the ground.
So look, I've taken 2 back legs and I just fucking don't want to continue. Like, this is revolting. I don't have a weak stomach or anything, but I mean, in a matter of 20 minutes from me starting to butcher the pig, first leg, turning it over second leg, look at all these eggs. That's all maggots. Excuse my language, that's fucking revolting. So, you know, I'm going to take my legs, I'm going to do a slow roast. I guess I'm going to be happy that I've removed a bloody feral from the forest and be on my way. I got to head home anyway, mate. I have family stuff. So, there's my legs. There's the revolting pig. You know, still going to eat it though. The meat's fine. The meat's fine. There's no eggs on what I harvested. I just don't want to bloody touch that stuff. I don't want to get it on me. I don't want to get it on my meat and then know that I'm eating that later. I know what I said before, that some people eat maggots and things like that, but I don't eat maggots. I was just trying to be clever on the camera, all right? Yeah, pigs, love shooting them. There are a few that I've absolutely loved eating. This one, I think, may be one of them because she looks good. She's healthy. I'm just going to cut her open quickly, look at her liver just before I head off. And yeah, definitely be done with it after that. Jesus, bullet smashed the liver, but what's left of it looks good. It's not too dark, which is great. No spots on it that I can see. Nothing really odd. Definitely a bit of bruising. Obviously the bullet did a lot of damage, but she's fine to eat. Again, fine. I'm gonna be on my way. All right, let's go. So Buck and I are going to head back to the car. We've got our legs. It is still warm, still beginning of February, so we had all these bloody flies come and make a mess of our meat. It's all right. There's still plenty of points of interest in this place that I want to have a look at. There's a lot of animals here, so I'm actually really excited to bring friends, clients, and maybe even the club around here too. You know, definitely worth a stalk. It's a good spot. There's plenty of animals, and I don't think it gets much hunter pressure at all. I mean, I had a really odd experience of a fallow, must have been a buck, fallow buck behind some thicket. Obviously got onto Buck and I. Buck picked up his scent and we were creeping through, and he started almost grunting, or, you know, it definitely wasn't croaking like they were in the rut. Initially I thought it was a sandbar bark, but it was real deep and throaty. And so I was thinking, oh shit, yeah, it's a bloody old sandbar, you know, he's got a hoarse voice. But then when we started stalking up closer to the thicket and I saw the hindquarters of the animal, it had bloody spots. So it had to have been a fallow. Either way, really exciting. I mean, I've not known a fallow to bark, except in another area of really low hunter pressure, because I'd imagine the animals that give away their position are more likely to get shot. And that's why I have a theory that a lot of people go hunting in sandbar country, and I know it's sandbar country, and they spook deer all the time, but they never get honked or barked at. And I think that's because of all the hunting pressure, the more vocal animals have been removed from the genetic population. So just a theory, I don't know. It's just observations. That's why I kind of led to believe, just with the amount of pigs here, and the size of them, and the amount of deer, and I'm going to say the barking of what I believe is a fallow, I don't think there's much hunter pressure here at all, which is exciting, really exciting. So I'm back at the car, pigs in the fridge, cracking spot. I bumped a really large fallow doe on the way back. Like, she was really good, really healthy, like bright, vivid spot. It was great. Pretty excited. I'm really excited to share this place. I really hope he likes it. He's, like I said, he's a deer stalker from Ireland. This is right up his alley. Got the exact species he wants to chase. You know, doesn't seem to be a lot of hunter pressure. So, like,
I'm really excited. I can't contain myself. I think there is some sandbar here. I was really excited when I saw pigs. I did not expect to see a pig at all. Like I saw some pig scat-ish, but like there's a lot of beetle activity, so I think it was, you know, decomposing really quick. And what I noticed is going in, shooting the pig, coming back to grab my gear, going back out and coming back, I came across like within half an hour of fresh scat. You know, so the deer are active. I guess the storm's blowing through, so that may be what's getting them up out of bed and making sure they get all fed and healthy before they have to hunker down. But I mean, I was just blown away. The wind wasn't consistent at all, so I would have dusted the whole gully system. But you know, that being said, all done. I was going to hunt here this afternoon, but I don't think so. I've got to get going. I've got some work to do, etc. And you know, I'm happy with my pork. I'm happy I've got somewhere to come back. I think I might use this as my my personal fallow area as well. I don't really have a good spot for fallow, and there's pigs here as well. And sandbar, scat, very old. Definitely move through here. Apart from that, like I said, I'm super excited. Keep on the Forest to Fork. Gonna have as many videos up as we can. And yeah, coming into the fallow rut, I'm sure it's going to be a busy season. There's going to be lots of heads taken, lots of videos online, and I'm hoping my client can contribute to that. But for a scouting mission, I think it was sweet. See you later.